From the shores of Malibu where the waves are pumping, to the Great Wall of China, and back to the streets of Las Vegas where the UFC is coming. We are live. This is Time Radio, the show where we talk about what you think about, but are afraid to voice. Don't worry, we'll voice it for you. Everything here. No holds barred radio, folks. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. My co-host, producer TJ DeSantis, and of course, our special guest. We always love having him on the show. Ray Longo, the legendary fight trainer, manager. Call him what you want. He's in the action. He's right there. Ray, how are you?
Very good, man. Great to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, but I'm sure I'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. We got the Sphere show coming up here. Everybody's been talking about it. Looking forward to it. We'll go over that card in a second. The MMA Awards personality, the MMA Awards the
World MMA Awards.
The World MMA Awards. There you go. The World MMA Awards. I'm looking here, Ray. This is like the first year, or don't you usually get nominated for coach or trainer?
No. I mean, I got a couple of times. That was it. Not in a while. Not since.
No, you're so deserving. You're so deserving.
I don't pay much attention.
Ray, you refer to yourself as a coach or a trainer. What would you? Somebody asked you, what do you say?
Oh, that's by kind of. I'm going to say coach.
Coach.
Coach/trainer. Yeah.
All right. Let me give you the coaches of the year they nominated. They're all good guys. Eric Nixick, Francisco Grasso, Marcos D'Amata. Great guy, Marcos.
Who's that?
Pahumpa.
Oh, Pahumpa.
Oh, shoot, man. That's
yeah.
Good for him, yeah.
Tim Welch, who works with Sean OMalley, and Plinio Cruz. You familiar with all them?
Plinio Cruz. Yeah, I'm familiar with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all good guys.
All nice
all good guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, top notch.
I honestly, guys, it took me to see that Pahumpa was nominated to ever find out his real name. I've just always called him Pahumpa for 15 years.
It's funny. I've been calling him Marcos.
Right?
Yeah, he's in there. Great guy. So
yeah.
Anyway, everybody go to the World MMA Awards. Vote for your favorite. Everybody, Fighter of the Year. All bit. I'm nominated for Personality of the Year. There's other very fine nominees in the category. Nina Drama's in there. I always kid her. I say, get your acceptance speech ready. But go ahead and vote for it. This would be a very cool thing to go to. Our buddy John Anik is a Commentator of the Year. Always looking for John, and Laura Sanko, very deservingly, she's up there too. So
Anik and Florian podcast up for Best MMA Programming as well. I like the question you asked Ray, whether he considers himself a coach or a trainer, because I think a trainer gets you ready to do one thing, and a coach is someone you have in your life for everything.
Absolutely.
And I think Ray Longo is very much a coach.
Yeah, I TJ, that's pretty well put, because the answer should have been I'm neither. I'm a psychiatrist.
Ray Longo, PhD's got a nice sound to it.
Yeah. Can't wait to say that one when I announce him someday, for sure. All right, Ray. You know what? There's a fight this weekend. There's a fight night. I will not be announcing it. Joe Martinez will be at the helm. It will be at the Apex in Vegas. Gilbert Burns and Sean Brady. Tough fight. Should be really, really good. Jessica Andrade, Natalia Silva. Good, solid show. Everybody check that out Saturday. But the show everybody's talking about, and we'll touch base on it again next week with members on the show, is, of course, the Riyadh Season Noche UFC coming to the Sphere. Ray, real quick. Pick quick.
Yeah.
Ortega-Lopez. Brian Ortega-Lopez.
I got to tell you, I like both guys. I'm thinking I'm going to go with Lopez.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the smart pick, Ray.
Yeah, I think that's a tough fight. I do think that Ortega was getting beat up by Yair before he made that comeback, which was remarkable. But I think you only have so many of those in the gas tank. So,
I hate to say that you're 100% right, but I feel like Brian Ortega's been around for long enough, guys, that we're starting to actually kind of see him be long in the tooth. He still seems like a young kid to me, but he's been in some battles. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing everybody has to realize that too. As these guys get older and they accumulate injuries, they have to change their fighting style. They're not the same guys they were that we remember sometimes. So, excuse me. But I think that's what we're seeing with him. I think even in that fight with Yair, he jumped up in the air, he almost ripped his knee out again. Everybody was like, "Holy crow!" So it looks like his body's kind of telling him something.
Well, when I was announcing him that night, he twisted his ankle just jumping up and down in the corner.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And that's
Yeah,
scary.
it's crazy. It's great. I hated to see that. But anyway, he's such a cool guy, such a good guy. I never pick man or woman. I say may the best man or woman win. Brian's a friend. Of course, always rooting for him. Diego Lopez, I think, is one hell of a fighter. There's no question.
He's been a breakout star the last year and a half. It's crazy to see what he's done because I think he made his UFC debut in 2023 on that Newark show. He hasn't been in the UFC for very long, and he's just wowed people.
Quite a bit. And all right, going on, Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso, the rematch for the flyweight title. Going to be a tough fight.
Is this their fourth fight?
Third
fight. They've been fighting forever. It seems, but man, I don't know what to say. You look at Grasso, who to me always feels like she's overlooked, even when she's done everything right in her matches with Shevchenko. I mean, obviously she was getting kind of dominated the first fight, and then kind of pulled that rabbit out. But man, I'd be hard pressed to pick with conviction against Alexa Grasso because she's already done it, and
I think the second fight was a split decision, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a split decision.
Yeah, I think from now on they could fight 10 times. It could go 5-5. Like it's close.
It's close.
Who knows? This could be another split decision for Valentina's on side. But I don't think we're going to see a finish again.
No. I think we're going to see 5 rounds of war.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then we have Sean O'Malley and Merab Dashili. I know Sean's just on a roll, but Merab is no slouch. This is a very tough fight.
They called the man the machine for a reason, though, Buffer.
Yeah.
What was that?
The guy's a machine, Merab.
Machine. I know.
I mean, I think stylistically, Ray, I'm not trying to butter your bread. I'm not trying to just back your guy because you're on the program. I think stylistically, this is an incredibly hard fight for Sean O'Malley.
Hardest fight ever. Hardest fight of his career.
But this is going to be a fight where Merab, I think, has to be perfect. We saw that
without a doubt too.
Without a doubt.
But look, I'm kind of counting on the fact too that dude, he used who was the guy he fought, Vera? I mean, basically was a standing punching bag, and he couldn't get him out of there. You know what I mean? So Merab's going to be moving, shooting, offsetting his timing. He's going to have to be perfect. Like if he's a sniper, he's going to have to hit a moving target. I don't think Merab's going to stand there for him. But I think what gives me a little solace is he didn't do anything with Vera. He used him like, again, he could have did anything he wanted. He couldn't get rid of him.
Yeah, one thing I like about Merab, and I think we've lost this sort of style for whatever reason in mixed martial arts recently, is Merab is kind of one of the last few guys that'll go all out and shoot for your legs. A lot of guys, they do these upper body ties, and then they try to go to the legs. Like, I feel like Sean O'Malley is not going to be super comfortable sitting down on a lot of his strikes because at any time that elevation of Merab's going to drop and all of a sudden you got a sprawl. And it's incredibly hard to throw with conviction when you can't really put a stern, steady base underneath you when you're always thinking about sprawling.
And TJ, to add to that too, and he's going to do it over and over again. He's already, so you got that in the back of your mind. It's not like you got to stop one, you got to stop 15.
Yeah.
At the same level of intensity. That's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's what's really interesting about this fight. I think we've lost a lot of the great blast double leggers over the years, and Merab is a bit of a throwback fighter who's not afraid to stand up and trade and get grimy. But
no, definitely not. No, he's definitely a tough guy. He's got a good chin. But I think what makes him different is that there's a lot of guys that they'll go for a takedown, but if they know they can't get it, they're going to back out. They're not going to want to expend the energy. This guy doesn't care.
Right.
He's going to expend the energy over and over and over and over again. And I think that's what makes him really dangerous is he could be overwhelming. Look what he did to Peter Yan. Peter Yan's a really good striker. Doesn't have the height of O'Malley, but dude, he just shut that guy down completely. Jose Aldo, great striker. Shut him down.
Yeah, and also too, Merab is dangerous in the fact that initial shot, if it doesn't work, the secondary shot is something that he changes. Like he might not get it right away, but in that same sort of sequence of takedowns, he might get it on the second effort of the same shot.
All right. So basically, what you're saying is that each fighter has a puncher's
Yes.
chance.
He definitely has a puncher's chance. Sure.
Very cool.
No.
Okay, listen, it's going to be
He's
exciting.
got more than a puncher's chance, but I'm saying like nobody's punch proof. So
Right.
No, nobody's punch proof. That's
well, especially 25 minutes.
That's proven over and over and over again. Listen, it's going to be a hell of a show. We'll elaborate more on it next week. 10 fights, solid production costs through the roof.
right.
Ticket prices through the roof. I understand they've gone down a little bit. But at the same time, it's going to be a very exciting show. And sitting on the outside looking in at that sphere, I can only imagine what images are going to be shown outside on the sphere.
And Bruce, you don't have to answer this, but have you been brought in for any special run-throughs or anything that you have to make adjustments for?
I've been told there's going to be one adjustment, but I can't make public what it is, and I haven't heard solid what it is.
But you haven't had any like rehearsals yet or anything, Buff?
Pardon me?
You haven't had any rehearsals in the building or anything?
No, I've never even been in the building. No rehearsals in the building. I'm still leaving Friday open in case I am called in for rehearsal. But, we're such a tight-knit ship. I can just be told, listen, I'm a mercenary. I'm a UFC mercenary. You point, I shoot. I'll get it down. And
100%.
whatever happens is, the show's going to be relatively the same for me if I'm positioned in different positions. But I'm as much in the unknown right now as you are, and I'll be filled in on everything next week. I think they're working down to the last minute on exactly how they're going to run this whole thing.
Crazy.
I'll never forget the show. I think it was in Charlotte, North Carolina, KFC Yum Center. I think it was. Bruce Buffer turned out the electricity to the entire venue when he said, "We are live," and Stefan Struve and Roy Nelson were in the octagon.
Yeah, I remember
Bruce,
that one.
I'm pretty sure. So don't scream. We don't need you turning off the sphere by accident. Okay.
Don't worry, not going to happen. I don't think it's an issue. My voice is strong, but it's not that powerful. Nice. So we'll see. You're
going to feel that energy, Buff. I think we're going to see you to a different level on Noche.
Well, it's going to be a different type of energy because it's more of a Greek theater setting, and it's going to be the way the energy is going to be coming down.
I don't even know what the best seats guys. Like, think about that. It's a concert venue. This isn't a place that probably will ever hold fights again. I think personally.
Interesting.
Well, considering the production costs, who knows?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I like theaters for fights. I've been to plenty of fights in theaters, and they tend to make really cool environments and atmospheres. And this isn't even a traditional theater. It's got all the bells and the whistles. So it's gonna be cool.
I forget the place that we did a couple fights. Oh, my gosh, not the Hard Rock.
The Pearl at the Palm.
The Pearl of the Palms was one.
Well, and
there was another location in Vegas. I forget what it was.
The joint at the Hard Rock, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the Hard Rock. The theater set, the Greek theater settings, they work very, very well. But look, we'll see.
Remember how small the Hard Rock used to be, Bruce?
Oh, please.
Yeah, most of the seats you could buy at the Hard Rock were standing room next to the bar. There was very limited seats.
That thing couldn't have held more than 500-600 people.
No.
Hey, Ray, this is right up your alley. Joey Chestnut beat Kobayashi in the hot dog eating contest. Have you ever seen that? That's out near you, right?
Yeah, 100%. Joey Chestnut's been winning for the last 20 years, no?
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
83 hot dogs.
I think that's the most he's ever done, though.
The most he's ever done. Kobayashi only got to 66.
Yeah, this was like a Netflix deal or something like that. This wasn't part of the traditional Nathan's hot dog eating contest that you get on 4th of July. They kind of took their talents to their own sort of platform or whatever.
If you ran them around in circles, you could probably ignite a plutonium bomb.
Oh, my God.
Laying in his stomach.
God knows what kind of bombs are coming in or out of his body right now. So, it takes a while. 83 hot dogs. I just can't imagine that.
Are you a hot dog guy, Ray?
I love a good hot dog, but I try to stay away from them because they just offer no nutritional value at all.
I get that. But when you order a hot dog, what are we putting on it?
No, mustard and sauerkraut, basic.
Okay. All right. Good man.
That's me.
Good man. Hey, anybody? I feel like I can't be friends with someone who puts ketchup on a dog.
You know what? I love hot dogs absolutely plain. I went to a fine restaurant early evening recently just for their happy hour, and they had a Kobe beef 3rd-pound hot dog with avocado and on a one of those soft brioche buns and onions, and it was just absolutely delicious. I ate it with a fork. I didn't pick it up. I ate it with a fork.
A fancy restaurant and they're selling hot dogs, Buff? What
Kobe
world
beef.
are we living in?
Kobe beef hot dog.
That hot dog was $220.
No, not quite that much. It was a $19 hot dog. Happy hour price.
That's like 6 packs of hot dogs at the grocery store.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Anyway, I'm not.
I told you my big thing is going to a movie is popcorn, a hot dog, and a half cherry, half regular Coke. And rarely do we eat any of those outside of that scene.
I tell you, you're like Sarah. Last time I saw him in the movie theater, he had his tray, he had his soda on. I mean, he had the whole thing like it was a piece of art. He has popcorn in one corner, his soda in the other corner.
It might sound crazy, but a little bit of popcorn, a little bit of hot dog, and a little bit of the drink.
Yeah.
Flavors all mix, and it's a very slow chew. All right, we all have our little idiosyncrasies when it comes to eating, that's for sure. That's for sure. Hey, the astronauts that are stranded up there, they say back by 2025, now they're reporting an eerie sound coming from the Boeing Starliner.
It's terrifying. They're supposed to be up there for like 3 weeks at the most.
Man,
and now they're talking
crazy.
about being up there
It's
for
terrifying.
6 months to a year.
Because I heard
how did they get? How much of a food?
Chuck Norris up to rescue him. I don't know if that's true or not.
Chuck Norris was supposed to accept an award here the other week, the International Hall of Fame Award, Martial Arts Hall of Fame, and he didn't make it.
Well, the problem with Hall of Fames and martial arts is there's like 900 of them, and you just can pay your way to get in.
Without a doubt, because I would never do one of them, and I've been offered probably 10 of them.
Ray, I've been offered.
Yeah,
I'm not a Hall of Famer of anything, especially martial arts.
I can't do it.
I've been told I'm going to get a Hall of Fame award this year, but I can't tell what it is. It's not the UFC. It's another Hall of Fame award, but I'm not allowed to announce it before I accept it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're going to keep us in suspense?
It's a good one. It's a good one. I mean, when I say they're all good, they're all good. It's an honor just to be mentioned,
Right.
And anyway, just like the MMA Hall of Fame, I got the Lifetime Achievement Award, statue over here.
But where's the MMA Hall of Fame? What is that? What is it? See? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to discredit your accomplishment buffer.
No, it's the Fighters Only Award. There's no discredit. The bottom line is it's an organization that recognizes people. Be proud of it, accept it. It's not like it's the Oscars or anything like that.
Am I living under a rock? I've never heard of an MMA Hall of Fame.
Well, you've heard of the Fighters Only MMA Awards. That's the one that always stands out.
That's not a Hall of Fame, though.
No. UFC Hall of Fame.
I'm going to start a Hall of Fame.
Well,
it only costs $1,500 to get in. Yeah,
no, the UFC Hall of Fame is one to be reckoned with. That's for sure.
Right, and I like the fact that the UFC has put people in the Hall of Fame that maybe didn't really make their Hall of Fame, marks in the UFC, like Sakuraba, one fight in the UFC, he's in the Hall of Fame. For all intents and purposes, UFC Hall of Fame is the MMA Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
One day, maybe the writers get together and actually do something, but. In the meantime, there seems to be all these little rinky-dink ones that want you to buy a $1,000 dinner, and they'll, too, give you a ring that'll probably turn green after 5 months.
Well, speaking of $1,000 dinner, Ray, are you a Red Lobster fan?
Not really, no.
Well, another sign of the times, Red Lobster's closing 23 restaurants.
Wow.
23.
Well, how many are there?
Bro.
Let's see. I think, excuse me. The company is rejecting the leases of an additional 23 locations by Saturday they were going to open, which is joining more than 100 restaurants that Red Lobster closed earlier this year, which means they'll have around 500 left. So it's a sharp decline from 650 restaurants, which is another sign of the times.
But we always talk about seafood buff, about how there's mercury in it and it's not healthy for you. And I mean, I'm not surprised people aren't eating chain.
I
not
don't know
food,
if this is a health choice. I'm sorry to interrupt you, TJ.
No, I'm just saying I can see why business is down and ultimately maybe it's declining and going away.
Oh, I don't think that's
the fact people can't afford to eat out.
Why do you think the reason is, Ray?
I just think COVID really killed everybody, and they can't make the money back. I mean,
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, when I saw so many places go out of business, and then it was a year after COVID ended because you hang in there, you put your money in, you try to survive, and then the business never came back. I talked to guys over here, and they can't even get people to work. I know they had 3 restaurants, 3 Vietnamese places.
Yeah.
They had to close when people come in for a day. They don't want to work.
Yeah, for whatever reason, a lot of people stopped working, Ray, for the pandemic, and then just never went back.
That was
it's crazy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what you're seeing. For some reason, jobs like Red Lobster didn't become enticing to people. I don't know why, but I guarantee it was more of an employment thing. Plus,
I can see that.
Yeah, plus sales are going down. It's just tough, man. What I hear on the street.
Well, how many times have you guys gone to a restaurant post-COVID where there's like one server in charge of 19 tables? You know what I mean? Like it's incredibly hard to get
they're trying to make the money back.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah. Ray, listen, here's something that you'd be aware of. The NFL's embraced these soft shell helmet covers, that they wear during practice to protect players from concussions. Now, you work a lot with Headgear and such as that. How do you feel about that? Because you can still get concussed through these things, right?
Well, look, I'm for anything that limits, anything that's a step in the right direction. If it's better than the previous thing, I'm all for it, obviously. But
you think they'd ever adopt these for regular gameplay?
Oh, I thought you said that's what they were doing. I don't really follow the NFL.
No,
I think if it's going to help people and it doesn't affect the playing that much, I think they would have put it in.
They will eventually, for sure.
Ray, Bruce, at the end of the day, listen, no matter what you do, getting hit in the head's just not good.
Not good at all.
And no matter what, at any level, at any age, at any impact.
Well, speaking of which, Ray, never asked you about this, but when you say that, how do you feel when you watch the slap fights where they're taking hits?
I think it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Really?
Who the hell wants to stand there and get? And these are big guys. You see the hands on these guys?
Yeah, they're big guys for sure.
It's not going to be a good scene. I don't know, because I don't even think they're making any money.
It's very popular. It's
very
growing like
popular?
crazy.
I don't watch it, so I don't really know. No, I'm definitely not a fan. I think once you've seen it once or twice, you've kind of seen it, and then every so often you could get dragged back in if there's a rivalry or this guy never gets knocked out, or so I could see that, but long term I can't see. How many times can you watch that?
Ray, it's all up to the individual. I mean, Dana, kudos to Dana. He's got the Midas touch in everything he touches, and there's a huge audience for it. Social media wise, it's supposedly like crazy.
Yeah, I'm out of that loop. I don't know what that even. If it equates to money, that's great. But
I would think most professional fight trainers and fighters probably have a hard time because you're not protecting yourself and you're training to protect yourself.
Just you're taking a free shot. Imagine somebody say, "I'm giving you a free shot to punch me in the head." Well, how does that work?
That's not really a puncher's chance, is it?
Yes.
That's a puncher's guarantee.
Hey,
Ray, listen, kudos to it. If they're making money and Dana's providing entertainment, there's a definite huge audience for it. I'll tell you what gets me is I look at some of these. I see these videos of car fights, telephone booth fights.
The jiu-jitsu, the car jitsu.
That's jiu-jitsu. I'm talking car fights, right? Fighting in a car.
I've never seen anybody fighting in a car. I've seen the car jiu-jitsu. I think I saw like phone booth boxing one time.
Phone booth boxing, I saw that too.
You know what's funny, Bruce, is that you remember the guy Peretti, right? Wasn't he a matchmaker?
Of course.
John Peretti.
But he came up with that other thing, right? Where what do you call it?
No, you're thinking of Art Davey. And,
no, it was Peretti. I think he had that arm wrestling thing where you hold
X-arm.
the thing.
You hold the thing, and you can kick, and you can punch.
It was definitely Art Davey.
Oh,
it was Art Davey.
Really?
That was Art Davey.
Yep.
The man that created one of the creators of the UFC.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I remember this is where they
he was
lost
ahead
me.
of his time.
Well, this is where they lost me with that one at the time. A guy jumps up to do an arm bar on the X arm, but really, like, you're using two hands to try to, that's, what are you doing? I don't know. Have you seen the hockey fights where it's just like a stand-up fight and they're on skates on ice?
Yeah.
I was once going to announce a show. I think they were calling it Gladiators or whatever, but it was all about the brawlers and the enforcers of the hockey, past and present, coming and fighting each other center ice with me announcing them. But it never got off the ground.
I worry about just doing anything on ice. And as you mentioned, Ray, we're talking about concussive force to the head. Yeah. It's all scary.
That's all scary.
When guys spar in your gym, Ray, how do you like to see it handled? Do you headgear, big gloves? What are you doing?
I mean, I like to see headgear and big gloves, but they've been switching over because they want to get the little glove feeling.
Yeah,
so they got to tone it down a little bit, but they're still throwing, man. I think you have to. They just get the feel of the fight,
Yeah.
And then once you get to a certain level, you could drill, I think, and get the same effect, but you got to be pretty squared away for that.
Ray, it's also been said too, the boxing glove was made to protect the hand, not the head. And there's some question about what is more dangerous to get hit with, an MMA glove or a boxing glove.
I think a boxing glove, way more.
I think the boxing glove rattles the brain more.
Well,
And they said, TJ, back in the day, they did a study where the headgear made it worse.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It spread out the impact a little different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I've had plenty of sparring and 3-round fights and with headgear on, and I've definitely been concussed.
It's never good.
Let me just say this. I've called a lot of boxing and a lot of MMA in my time, and when I see a flush, clean shot with a boxing glove land, those dudes just get knocked out much deeper. It's a deeper sort of sleep. It takes them a lot longer to recover, and they go a place where, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some MMA fights that send guys into that proverbial, shadow realm, but in boxing, a clean knockout's a lot scarier than it is in MMA.
Well, one more question, Ray. I know you got to go.
Yeah.
I can see you getting called out. Jake Paul is now saying Mike Tyson's completely healthy. There's no backup opponent. They're going to fight. I forget if we talked about this previously on the show. Real quick, do you like that? And what's your take on
it? I mean, I wish Tyson was 25. I would have liked to have seen what Jake Paul with his shit in his pants before they even got in the ring.
As many other fighters did.
Yeah, as many other fighters did, and deservingly so. But this kid's an expert at knowing when and where to pick fights. Just that's his genius.
Yeah,
way more than his fighting ability. But I hope Tyson beats the crap out of him.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I mean, imagine he wins that fight. He says he beat Mike Tyson.
He didn't beat Mike Tyson, though. You can't say that.
No, he's going to say it. That's what they do.
But Mike Tyson's not Mike Tyson.
I mean, the other guy, Floyd Mayweather, Mayweather was a 135-pounder.
Right.
He's fucking 6'2". He's fighting Floyd Mayweather thinking like he's doing something. It is bizarre to me. We're in a weird state.
It's weird all over the place, Ray.
It really is, though, Bruce. That's just like unacceptable. I mean, the guy's 5'6".
Right. Like he's fighting Mike Tyson, who's obviously a heavyweight. We've seen him, square off with Sean O'Malley. Like no one is fighting or trying to fight Sean O'Malley and Mike Tyson that is anywhere near both of their sizes. Do you know what I mean? It's just not a thing. That can't be
age.
Right. Yeah, come on. It's
if
ridiculous.
They fight and you're a younger age, then you have to be 40 pounds lighter. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you fight with the same weight, then you got to be over 55 years old. I mean, it's just it is bizarre. But if they could sell it and make money, power to them.
But now it's on Netflix, so everyone's going to have it already. So
isn't that crazy?
Weird.
Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to run out.
Ray, go ahead, take off. I'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week, man. Great catching up, man. I'll see you guys.
Good luck, Ray.
All right, buddy.
Get it done with Merab.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hi, everybody. I've had an absolute blast recording your championship intros on audio and also on video. And for those of you that didn't know, the videos can be done special exactly the way you like them, because these are green screens and we can do them with a scene behind me. Do you want a fighting scene? Do you want a beach scene? Do you want a race car scene? Any scene you want, we can give it to you. It's your theme and my pleasure. Just write our offices and we will answer you with the exact fee involved and how it'll get done. So here we are, and now it's time, and it's your choice. Cheers!
All right, always good to have Ray on the show. Outspoken, funny, just another great guy. He should have been nominated for the awards. He's
but I don't think he needs that. You know what I mean? There's nothing he internally needs.
It's not like I need the award that I'm nominated for. It's not about ego. It's just an honor and what it is. But it's just, I love seeing a fine man like him either praised verbally in print or in award, because he deserves it. He's done so much for us.
Let me say, the real ones know, Buff. The real ones know.
We know, right? We know, definitely. All right, TJ, a couple interesting stories here. Let's go into this one. This is like weird. Officials are probing the death of a Wells Fargo employee.
I heard about this.
Yeah, she was found in her cubicle with her head down, but she was there for 4 days.
Yeah. That's what the they finally realized card said,
that she was dead.
I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? Like, you would think somebody would be like,
it comes down to one thing. Nobody paid attention to her at work.
I mean, maybe that's the other thing, too. We live in this world now where still there's a lot of offices that don't have a lot of people come in. They do like the telecommuting. And I mean, who knows? Maybe there's no one in her, cubicle block, Buff. Like maybe she, is the only one that went to work. I don't know.
Well, there's no signs of foul play, that came about because people started smelling the odor, of course. But anyway, just horrible.
I mean, Dying at work. There's only a handful of people that would ever want to do that. You're one of them. You want to die at work.
It's tough.
Right.
I don't want to manifest that, but yeah. Okay. All right, going on into another situation here. Volkswagen's probably going to close plants in Germany for the first time in history.
Wow.
Yeah, that's big.
I mean, they're a German-based company, so that's crazy.
I know. 87 years of history.
That's too bad.
They got to deepen cost cuts, what it is competition from the Chinese electric vehicle makers.
Yeah, I knew there was like a movement for Volkswagen to try to get into EVs. I don't know where they were on that. A lot of people thought they were going to kind of be the leader in sort of traditional non-luxury cars to be EVs, but that just never came to happen.
Well, it goes how much it sells in China because that's where it is. That's one of the major things what they've lost in China. It was their basically single biggest market.
Yeah, I mean, well, they have more people than any other country pretty much in the world.
Yeah,
I mean, there's more. Are there more Chinese people than there are Indians? Because India's got like 1
I would
point
have
some.
to check on that.
But I mean, like those two markets from an international standpoint, if you have a market hold there, you literally can't afford to lose it. It'll completely destroy your company's base.
No question. But, it's an $11.1 billion cost-cutting effort. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to try to cut.
Big business. It's tragic, the right-wing, the 49ers player who was shot in the chest in the street in San Francisco.
I didn't even hear about this.
Oh, my God. It's horrible. Ricky Pearsall walking down. By the grace of God, though, it missed all his vital organs, so hopefully he'll be able to recover and go back to playing professional football. But right before the season, was
this a random shooting or?
Yeah, supposedly he was. They were trying to rob him on the street.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
In another sports news, getting on a little more pleasurable stuff. Shohei Ohtani's 176 home run ball.
Yeah.
Now it's an auction. Could fetch like 200,000 plus.
Is this the one that went over the fence, came back on the field, the player picked it up and threw it in the crowd because he didn't know it was a monumental home run?
Not sure, TJ. He said.
Well, I think that's what happened. I know. I'm pretty sure it is. I know Ohtani hit some sort of milestone home run, and the outfielder didn't realize it, and the ball came back onto the field. I think maybe it was like a road game, and the opposing
and he handed
fan.
It back to him?
Well, no, the opposing, you know how like you hit a home run and you're not in your home field?
Handed it back?
The fans throw the ball back on the field because you're not from their towns. Like,
right.
Get out of here, we don't want your souvenir. I think that's what happened, and then I think the outfielder picked it up and threw it back into the crowd because it's a souvenir, and Ohtani was like, I think Shohei wanted it. I think he wanted the ball, but unfortunately they weren't able to make a deal because someone's going to sell it.
Well, you know what? It's however that fell, it's just amazing. And he's a member of the 43-43 club now, 43 homers.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's the 40-40 club, but yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, well, I just heard it's 43-43.
Well, he's got 43 of both, but it's the 40-40 club. That's the milestone. If you can hit 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases, you're in the 40-40 club. Not many people do it.
I think he's just such a benefit to the game of baseball because it brings back what baseball is all about. Have fun, play, the whole kid experience. He's a good role model.
We forgot all about that betting concern from the beginning of the year. Funny how that's in the rear view.
It wasn't him. He got out of that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, baseball couldn't afford it to be him, so I'm not saying that they did anything necessarily, but even if it was him, I got a feeling it wouldn't have been him.
Well, it's nice to see role models, that's for sure. Totally nice to see role models. So what do we got here? We got that, Ohtani, Lobster, that. That's pretty much it for me, TJ.
All right.
I'm heading out to. I always do these things and I can't tell you what I'm doing until they're shown.
All right.
Anyway,
well, go have fun doing that.
I got to go do a campaign. I'm going to Salt Lake City for a day.
Campaign? I thought you were running for political office there for a second.
No politics for me.
Thank goodness.
This
is the only place I can go where people don't start screaming and hollering about who you may or may not support. I can't handle it, Buff.
It is what it is. It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the debate on next Tuesday. Debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out. So I might not talk politics on the show, but I definitely observe it, and I want to. This is going to be a very interesting next couple of months.
I appreciate this being a safe place because I can't handle it anymore.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. TJ, what's up? And we'll sign off.
What do I got going on? This weekend, I'm calling fights. Well, actually, Friday night. So tonight, as you get this on your podcast feed. Tonight, I'm calling fights out in Sacramento for Uriah Faber's A1 Combat. Tune in. Pretty stacked card. I think we got 9 fights live, all on UFC Fight Pass. So sign up. Biggest no-brainer in all of combat sports. UFC Fight Pass, home to the world's largest combat sports library and a whole bunch of LEPs, which stands for Live Event Partners, like LFA, Combat FC, CFFC, and the aforementioned Uriah Faber A1 Combat. So tune in.
Very cool. Very cool. One quick note. I forgot if I mentioned it, but my brother, the legendary Michael Buffer, filled in for me because I was in Australia, and he announced the Gordon Ryan super fight at the ADCC competition in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very cool. He was very taken with how everybody was so courteous, what a great event it was. And, that event was at the T-Mobile Center, attracting God knows how many people, 12,000 plus, whatever it brought in.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see how that event has grown.
Well, and you're not even talking about the Craig Jones Invitational, which was also in the same city and drew an enormous amount of fans going on at the same time. Jiu-Jitsu is huge, Buff. It is insane right now.
It's gotten huge, and I love seeing it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for me. We'll be back next week. We'll talk more on the Sphere Show next week amongst everything else going on. Everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Again, the UFC is happening this weekend. I will not be in the Octagon. Joe Martinez will be doing his excellent job announcing all the fighters, and I'll be back the following week. Set your goals, write them down, so when you step on that yellow brick road to success, you perform at your best, you be the best you can be, because then you're winning, and that's what we're all about on It's Time Radio. So big cheers and no fears for the week. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you, TJ. Cheers.